So we discussed Super Mario Run, and we found that the game had some points in some areas, but completely lacked in others. So where the game lacked is in ability, since they're all non-disabled, and in sexual orientation as well, since they are all presumably straight. Where the game was a bit more diverse is in gender identity. 2 of the characters are female, which is, well, a little bit outside of the norm. When it comes to culture, Mario and Luigi are both Italian, which is still like Western, but it's not the most represented type, we presume, so we put them just a little bit on the, out there. And age as well, Mario, Peach, and Luigi are all sort of neither young nor old, but both Toad and Toadette are children, so that is, just a bit outside of the norm we put them. And then we had body types as well. So what we noted here is that Mario is short, he's actually shorter than Peach, so we gave him quite a high score for that. And also that the characters they're not necessarily very, very muscular, they're more rounded. So yeah.
Man, this entire ideology seems just so foreign to me, and it's not just because I'm Eastern European troll, but it's also due to the fact that all the gamers that I speak with do not seem to purchase games based on these arbitrary characteristics. Even the people that support diversity would not say, oh, this is a really nice game, too bad it's got a white guy in it, or oh, I'm going to buy this game because it's got a black woman in it. Literally no one says this. And you see these corporations bending themselves over like a pretzel in order to push this, that literally no one wants. And it's also interesting, how do you measure culture? You get points for being Italian? So the culture in the middle is the US culture, right? And then if you make a Japanese character, it gets points because, it's out of the ordinary, so it's a minority. But, if you look at from the Japanese perspective, they should get cultural points if they have an American in their game. Nothing makes sense. It is beyond ridiculous, beyond childish. The only reason that Blizzard is pushing it is because they've been accused of molesting the women at their company. And I guess, if you're a leftist, that excuses you. Left-leaning people cannot molest women. I made a video already, and I said it's just them trying to show that they're Christian. Them trying to bring 3 bishops at the company to show how pious and Christian they are. So clearly they're not going to do that in the future. It's got the same thing. But what I like is that the more they try, the more they get laughed at, including by Kotaku. Other leftist magazines are laughing at Blizzard right now. So they say Activision Blizzard touted its diversity space tool in a blog post on May the 12th, which it claims that both the Call of Duty Vanguard and Overwatch 2 development teams beta tested the tools with much enthusiasm. There is no way that any gamer was enthusiastic at testing that shit. The only enthusiasm is that you're laughing so hard that it makes you enthusiastic to tell your other friends. It's look, I worked at Blizzard, and this is the shit that they made this test. And you're enthusiastic to get out of work in order to talk to your friends about it faster. And then, literally a day later, this is funny, right? A lot of people forget, but they were enthusiastic. And a day later, they said the tool is not being used in active game development. Yeah, there is no confusion. They went out with this. This is what happens at these companies, okay? People are afraid to call out bad ideas because they don't want to get fired. I mean, literally, they have overseers called diversity officers looming over the little game developers and watching their every move. So the game developer, no longer feels like he should say things. Like, this is what happened in the Soviet Union, by the way, and in Nazi Germany. Because you had informants, because you had the Stasi and the secret police, people just stopped talking unless it was absolutely necessary. So people were quiet, right? So then you have like the people in the company, the useless people in the company that are like, hey, let's have a diversity tool. And no one says anything. Like, normally there would be a reality check coming in, but the reality check doesn't exist anymore because people are afraid of getting fired. So then they push it to the public, and the public isn't afraid of getting fired, and they will tell you exactly what they think, and they're going to embarrass themselves. And this is why on May the 13th, they're like, oh, well, we're not using this tool, even though on May the 12th, they were really happy about it. I mean, even the progressives, right? Like, even their target audience, they were mocking this tool. So the awkward GDC footage, it's not awkward, it's accurate. Like, this is literally your ideology. This is literally like the way you're thinking. It's like, oh my god, it's like the first black female superhero character ever. It's history in the making. You get to see that shit at the White House now. Like, at the White House, they have a new spokesperson, and it's like, oh, well, it's historical. It's the first black woman immigrant that's a lesbian. And I'm like, is anyone going to read about this in the history books 5 years from now? Like, 2 years from now, if you're going to ask, like, what is the name of the first black woman that was a spokesperson at the White House? I'm willing to bet people won't know. There was a woman that worked under George Bush. That's how historical it is. No one cares about these things. It's like, they're not inventing the penicillin. They're not inventing the light bulb or anything like that. It's like, your arbitrary characteristics got you in a certain position. Congratulations. No one gives a shit. Notice how India doesn't do it. Like, India doesn't go, it's like, oh, it's the first white person that managed to be blah, blah, blah. And it's the same with the video games. Like, no one cares. But they make such a big fuss out of it to the point where now that there's a GDC footage showing with them playing with the chart, that's literally like the minority chart or whatever. Like, people are like, oh, well, that's kind of cringe. Yeah, your ideology is fucking cringe, and that's a representative of it. So the speaker is nervous, describing the diversity tool applying to Super Mario character, which determines that the characters aren't diverse enough because Mario wants to fuck Peach. Oh my god! Oh no! Like, that's minus diversity points. Activision Blizzard emphasized that the diversity tool was only used in beta and pretended they hadn't just said that they were using it in the current game. The tool was designed as an optional supplement to hard work. And by the way, right, like, they use this shit in Call of Duty, which is why, like, Call of Duty is so cringe compared to the other one that they did back in the day. Like, none of the Call of Duty actually makes sense. I already played Vanguard on a live stream, and I brought up all my complaints to it. Like, you get to play as a strong, empowered woman that carries an MG42 while climbing walls and shit. It's like, what the fuck am I playing? I want to play a World War II game that gets me immersed and makes me feel the horrors that happened in World War II. If you want to do that, you got to play Call of Duty World at War. Like, that is a good World War II game. This is absolute shit. Like, it's fantasy porn. I don't even know how else to describe it. What we noted here is that Mario is short, the speaker said, so he gets points. It's so freaking cringe. If Activision Blizzard development teams are using the company's tool to check for arbitrary diversity points the way the company claims, they don't all seem to be currently aware of it. Melissa Kelly, a character artist at Blizzard who worked at Overwatch, said on Twitter that Overwatch doesn't even use this creepy dystopian chart. Our writers have eyes. No, I think even if you don't use the chart, I think you think it's very important. Like, it's actually more important than making the game fun. You know what drives our diversity? The developers. We have people who work at the game from different What the fuck does that even mean? Like, what? How is it different if I'm a Romanian developer from an African developer? Like, just I'm whatever. It's such a fucking dumb ideology. Like, you have to assume that, like, all the Africans think the same. So if you, like, put an African and a white person, you have diversity. Like, let me give you a news flash. You can put two African people and you will have diversity. Do you know why? Because everyone is a fucking individual, and individuals are not part of the hive mind. Oh, God. The section of Activision Blizzard blog post, how it works, also leaves much unexplained. There are a few details on how the tool actually works, and they keep going on about it. But, like, even the left is mocking it. It's just, like, such a disgrace. This used to be a company that was so good. I wouldn't even need to watch the trailers. If Blizzard put on a product, I would have to buy it. It was a must buy because all their games had, like, the golden seal of approval. It was some of the best games that the world has ever made. And I say the world because you could have gone into Africa, China, India, and everyone would know about the Blizzard games. That's how good they were. And now, it's a complete embarrassment. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.